3 soldiers trudged down a road in a strange country.
They were trying to get home from the wars.
Besides being tired, they were hungry.
In fact, they had eaten nothing for 2 days. Oh, how I would like a good dinner tonight.
And a bed to sleep in.
But all that is impossible. We must march on.
On they marched.
Suddenly, ahead of them, they saw the lights of a village. Maybe we will find a bite to eat there.
And a loft to sleep in.
No harm in asking.
Now the peasants of that place were afraid of strangers.
When they heard that 3 soldiers were coming down the road, they talked among themselves.
Look, soldiers.
Ha, soldiers.
Soldiers are always hungry.
And we have little enough for ourselves.
Yeah.
The people hurried to hide their food.
Sacks of grain we hid under the hay in the hay lofts.
Buckets of milk down the wells.
We spread our old quilts over the bins of root vegetables.
Cabbages and potatoes under the beds.
Meat in the cellars.
We hid all of our food.
Then we waited.
Good evening, good people.
Could you spare a bit of food?
For 3 hungry soldiers?
We have had no food for ourselves for 3 days.
It's been a very poor harvest this year.
Yeah.
Have you somewhere we might sleep for one night?
Oh, no.
Our beds are full.
Yeah.
The soldiers went from door to door.
Not one family had a morsel to give away.
It has been a poor harvest.
All the grain must be kept for seed.
Or feed for the livestock.
One family had a sick father to care for.
All had too many mouths to feed.
Good people.
We are 3 hungry soldiers in a strange land. We have asked you for food, and you say you haven't enough food to share.
It seems that all you have too much of is these stones.
So the only thing to do is...
To me.
Stone soup.
Stone soup. What?
How?
We can show you how.
First, we need a large pot.
Biggest you can find.
I know where to find one.
That's none too large.
But it will have to do.
Now we need to fill it with water and fire to heat it.
It took many buckets of water to fill the pot.
A fire was built on the village square, and the pot was set to boil.
And now, if you please, 3 round, smooth stones. Those were easy enough to find.
The peasants' eyes grew round as they watched the stones drop into the pot.
The soldiers began to stir.
Any soup needs salt and pepper.
I know where to get some.
Stones like these generally make good soup.
Uh-oh, if there were carrots, it would be so much better.
Why, I think I have an old carrot or 2.
She came right back with her apron full of carrots from the bin beneath her red quilt.
A good stone soup should have cabbage.
But there's no use in asking for what you don't have.
I think I could find a cabbage somewhere.
Back she came with 3 cabbages from under her bed. Now, if only we had a... But no.
What? If only we had what?
No, it's no use. That's just not possible.
What? Tell us.
We were just thinking.
What?
Well, if only we had a bit of beef
And a few potatoes.
A little barley.
and just a cup of milk, this soup would be...
Would be enough for a rich man's table.
In fact, the king requested just such a soup when last he dined with us.
But it's no use asking for what you don't have.
Barley. Beef.
Milk.
The soldiers had entertained the king.
A rich man's soup, all from a few stones.
It must be magic.
The peasants brought their barley from the lofts.
They brought their buckets of milk up from the wells.
The soldiers stirred the barley and milk into the steaming broth while the peasants stared wide-eyed.
At last, the soup was ready. All of you shall taste. There's enough for everyone.
But first, a table must be set.
Great. Tables were placed in the square.
All around were lighted torches.
Such a soup!
How good it smelled.
Truly fit for a king. With such soup, we need bread
And a roast.
and cider.
Soon a banquet was spread, and everyone sat down to eat.
Never had there been such a feast.
Never had the peasants tasted such a soup.
What do you think? Made from stones?
They ate and drank and drank and ate.
And after they danced,
They danced far into the night.
at last they were tired.
Is there not a loft where we could sleep?
3 such wise and splendid gentlemen sleep in a hayloft?
Indeed.
They must have the best beds in the village.
So the first soldier slept in the priest's house,
The second soldier slept.
At the baker's house.
and the third soldier slept.
At the mayor's house.
In the morning,
The whole village gathered in the square to give them a send-off.
Many thanks for what you have taught us.
We shall never go hungry now.
Now that we know how to make soup from stones.
Oh, it's all in the knowing how.
and off they went down the road.
Such men don't grow on every bush.
And the moral of the story: through sharing, we all become richer.